Hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. A little late because I was trying to fix some of the recording stuff that I messed up with. That actually might end up coming up late on YouTube, but hopefully that won't be much of a problem. Meanwhile, let's go back to Triangle Strategy. I actually have been grinding a bit off stream, so I'm gonna show everything. So there's levels, there's um items that I bought and equipped. There is weapon upgrades. There is even some promotions. So we're gonna recap the whole thing. So we'll start with Serenoa. Now he already has the golden pinky ring to get better spoils and grounding amulet. Both him and Eridor having the grounding amulet, I feel like it's a good pick because they have the physical counter stance or physical counter in Eridor's case. So not being moved away to counter, I feel like it's a good thing. Roland got the strength amulet. The rear guards because he's always going to the back line, and strength because he is always dealing damage to multiple enemies. 2 enemies, 3 enemies, possibly 2 enemies, and up to 5 enemies. So dealing damage, the more damage to all of them, just increase damage output a lot. Benedict, don't think I don't recall if it was off stream or not, but he got. Oh yeah, it was off stream because I promoted him. So he has extra TP at the beginning and 2-fold turn, which makes an ally have 2 turns at once. Frederica, I gave her the magic amulet, and she's dealing a lot of damage. I have not used Pillars of Fire yet. Gila, I gave her the defense amulet so she can be safe against archers or enemies that reach my back line. And I promoted her, and still the same thing. I think I promoted her on stream. Duet, no change. I gave him the magic defense amulet because as a tank his magical defense 4, I do not want him to go down to magic attacks. Quarantine is still the same. One of the only ones, him and Huet are my only ones that are not the second class. They're not promoted. Julio. Now, I wasn't too big a fan of him, because like, Moment of Truth, you can give a TP to an ally near you and buff them. I always forget about the buffing part. You can do damage and lower enemy TP. But this is what makes him. You can give 2 TP to an ally, costing 3, and it has range, so that opens up so much for him. He's very great, especially with mages. Osabara, nice. I just not too big on her healing herself. Like, takes quite a bit. At least pushback that both on horseback got is pretty good. Narf's the Fierce defense is pretty nice because it lowers the enemy's magic defense. I still don't have Scorch though. Level 19, okay. Medina, when you're using items, she's actually pretty good because she can lob them, and her unique thing is double items, so. And there's also poison pellets and fast acting, but I'm not much of a consumables guy. Unlike MMOs with archers, I do not like when archers have to buy arrows and stuff, because I feel you're wasting too much on those consumables, weapons, and tools that you don't generally need normally. Ian's, I came to appreciate his Springtrap more. Ladder can be very useful in some situations, but he's very map dependent. Like, some maps he can be pretty good, other maps he does nothing. Arc Bolt. He's actually pretty good, deals good damage. Does increase the range of his normal attacks. He helped out so much, like he has so much range with that. And Edge Arrow is good against pikemen and shield bearers. So yeah, good damage dealer. Hyzante is actually a pretty nice mage. Her combo, but the problem is that her combo of Rite of Rain with Rite of Lightning is contradictory with Frederica because she has the passive of Clear Skies more damage, which deals a lot of damage. So I'd be down to use Hyzante when I'm not with Frederica on the team, but I'm not sure when that's ever gonna happen. Lionel, he's okay. Like his tempting has 1/3 of a chance of working, and it does something. So he's there. Piccoletta, her decoy's always been great. And I don't remember if she got ball toss on stream or off stream. It's basically a ranged basic attack. What I didn't realize is that the decoy can also use it. So it gives her so much more room. As you may have realized, everyone's level 18. And now weapon upgrades. Serenoa has increased range on Hawk Dive. Benedict has both Bulwark and Raging Beast buff. Here, this is the path that I was talking about. Gila does healing. Yes, there. Kiwet has more blinding instead of stitching, because I use blinding more. But I have been using stitching a bit more now, so maybe I regret my decision. Erador deals more follow-ups instead of just damage overall, because I feel like this will do more damage than this on a follow-up. And since it is always in the front lines, I feel like there's a lot of follow-ups that he can do. Especially when provoking the enemy. Quarantine. Asabara, I gave her this to help heal herself. Narv. Arc Bolt just increases damage. Hyzante, I worked on her lightning. So yeah, she deals more damage in Rainstorm and it spreads, so it's good. The problem is that rain is not clear skies. I still need to upgrade his weapon. Julio, Medina. Really don't know what I'd upgrade on her. Ian's. I wonder what these are. Lionel, Piccoletta, also another one I need to upgrade the weapon, and that's it. Now let's go for Rufus round 2. This time I got stuck in another part. Five character stories, okay. Maybe we'll do that first. Maybe because all the grinding I was doing increased convictions.
You've gotten better, my friend. Much better. Only because I've had you to train with. And how far behind would I be without Sir Maxwell's tutelage? The Dawn Spear himself is my personal mentor. And still you're all but my equal. It's been a while since we last sparred. It takes time to adapt to a new opponent. Perhaps so.
What do you think of Sir Maxwell?
I always enjoy our skirmishes. No better way to clear my head after another quarrel with father.
Okay, so this is very old. If to talk about quarrel with father.
Must all three nations be part of this mining venture? I've yet to hear a convincing argument as to why.
You do not hear because you do not listen.
Hyzante offers nothing but a sliver of their vast riches. Something we could easily do without. I understand the advantage of involving S-Frost. Their expertise speeds things along immeasurably. But Hyzante? Have you at least demanded they lower the taxes on salt? Such a change would be welcomed by our subjects and enrich their daily lives. We cannot concede everything while gaining naught in return. Surely you see this, Father.
It has been decided, and I will hear no more. You presume upon matters you do not comprehend.
I wouldn't comprehend.
Father, I'm just...
What's the benefit there?
Now, Roland, if
Other
there's
than
nothing else,
all
you
three
may
nations
leave me
for
be.
peace.
I have more important matters to attend to.
Yes, Father.
Yeah. Since we're looking from Roland's perspective, we're not gonna see him talking afterwards.
If only I had found the right words. If only I had kept my emotions in check. Perhaps things would have ended differently.
Maybe this is not so much in the past.
Blaming yourself for past mistakes will lead you nowhere. You must look forward for the opportunities ahead.
Of course. And I trust you'll be at my side come that time.
Of course.
Just as House Wolford stands with the crown, I stand with you.
I am fortunate to have as loyal a friend as you.
As am I. Enough sentimentality. Raise your spear so I can knock it down.
You're welcome to try, my friend.
A nice friendship they have. Next up, we have Eredor.
Seems
up?
as if the troubles never cease.
And what's the other character that's gonna come up? He went.
I take it you and Benedict have seen your share of trouble. You have both served House Wolford for many years, yes?
Aye. We both served Lord Simon since we were green between the ears. Through the good times and the bad.
Yeah, they've been through a lot.
Now you wouldn't believe the stories of what we got up to in our tender years. Even then, though, he was always the schemer. Always drawing me into his fanciful plots.
Has so much changed since then?
I don't reckon so. In any case, was there something you wanted to ask me?
There was. The other day, Benedict posed quite the strange question to
So
me.
they're talking about Benedict. What is the question? Okay. I was like, are we going back? Or are we not going to find out the question?
Where snowbell blossoms bloom?
Indeed. I thought perhaps you had seen trace of the flowers while scouting with Flugy.
Is
I've spotted
Flugy the name of
clusters
her
them in
hawk?
Deep mountain passes before, but not of late.
So it is as I thought. They have ever been a rare sight, even more so in recent years. I had thought to procure one, but it may be wise to temper my expectations in that regard.
Life always finds a way to flourish. I am certain Anna and I can find one before long.
I would not have you chasing my idle fancies. You both have more vital duties to attend to.
Is the snowbell for, like,
Of course.
either Lord Seaman or his wife, Brave?
So, Benedict's looking for a snowbell blossom. What's so peculiar about that?
Nothing, if it were anyone else asking. However, I think you'd agree that Benedict is not the type to go picking flowers on a whim. They say that when a snowbell blooms...
Uh-huh.
That moment is frozen in time. Aye.
Precisely. You and Benedict both never fail to surprise. But of all flowers, why the snowbell? Does he have some lady love I'm unaware of?
No, I don't think that's it.
I can't speak to that, but I'll tell you one thing, Hewitt. We've all got moments locked away and placed close to our hearts. You, me, even a stubborn-headed mule like Benedict. Like the snowbell, we want him frozen like that forever. And like the snowbell, they're liable to shatter if we let another handle them carelessly.
I understand. I apologize if I was too forward. Let us forget the matter.
No, it isn't you that needs to apologize. I'm always telling Benedict no one likes being lectured.
It was enlightening. I see you and Benedict are true friends.
For lack of a better word, aye.
Yeah, they're always butting heads, but at the end of the day, they're friends.
At least, when I can remember. I recall Benedict wasn't nearly as capable as he is now.
I may have to take you up on that offer.
Do you really reckon snowbells are still blooming somewhere out there?
Perhaps. Though I've not seen them in this region. They may still bloom in the southern reaches.
In other words, a trek and a half from here.
I wonder if he knows it. Why Benedict wants that specifically.
Don't give up the search, my friend.
Maybe he does. Maybe he does know. Next up is Hewitt. And Hewitt's with Eredor again.
And this is all I have to show for it. Wanted to give Lord Serenoa something meaty for once.
And what did you get?
There is no easy prey. You are a skilled hunter.
A deer.
One deer to your 3 boar? It's plain who the better of us is. I don't reckon you let a single one escape. Could be hunting is your true calling.
I would expect the
Perhaps.
archer to
Before
get
I was
deers,
knighted, I was keeper of the Hawk's Roost.
not
And
bears.
besides, I come from a long line of hunters.
That's so. And what drove you to fight men for a living?
Lenbrook put out a call for Hawk Riders, that they might challenge S. Frost's aerial superiority. I answered that call.
Does
My
Azeroth have
training was the
aerial
hardest thing I've
superiority?
ever had to do. But I won a position in the Kingsguard,
I don't
where I
recall
petitioned to
any
serve Prince
of
Roland
them.
personally.
Seeing you in action, I'm sure you could have made a fine commander. Yet you stuck by the prince's side.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Once again, I thought we were done with it, but instead we're getting the flashback. I'm down for that.
Loki has yet to return. I hope he isn't in danger.
What's this then? A traveler out here all alone, huh? And in sore need of protection by my reckoning. Hand over your coin purse and maybe we can reach an arrangement.
Only person?
Bandits? Here? How could I be so careless?
I'd advise against running. Ain't nowhere for you to go.
Yeah, too close for the archer.
Enough.
Oh, Roland's coming into protection.
Are you hurt?
I'm fine, thanks to you. Had you not showed up when you did, I could have ended up dead. You have my gratitude.
There's Flugy.
Is that your hawk? It guided me here. I was in the middle of a hunt, but your bird cried out as if
So that's
calling
why
to me.
Flugy took so long to come back.
Thank heavens I did not loose that arrow. I've never
I'm
known
still
hawks to be
surprised
so
how the
wise.
hawks are the side of
His
people.
name is Flugy, and he's more than my hawk. He's my closest companion.
The bandits are growing more bold by the day. It is best you returned home.
Wait! I have scarce little to give in the way of coin. But still, there must be something I can do to repay you.
Think nothing of it. It is the royal family's duty to protect our subjects.
The royal... Good heavens. You're Prince Roland. Forgive me, Your Highness.
And that's why
No
she's
need for
stuck
all that
with it.
stuffy formality. May we meet again soon.
Yes, Your Highness.
Instead of focusing more on the army.
That was my first meeting with the prince. He saved my life, and for that, I shall be forever in his debt. I could settle for no less than the King's Guard.
And next up we have Osabara. What's up?
Ah, that's the good stuff. Ain't no one
Eridor's
more
been
aligned like you.
everywhere, huh?
I
In
take
his zone, in
compliment,
Nuet,
not
in
compliments.
Osabara's.
It's hard enough to keep this place running on my own.
He hasn't been on Roland though.
Need me to lend a hand?
Thought you'd never ask. You can start by washing the dishes, then restocking our foodstuffs, fixing up that wobbly table.
A lot to do.
Aye, leave it to me.
I thought he was gonna say,
I'm
forget I
okay,
asked.
man. I'd never put a paying customer to labor.
But that's an awful lot of work for any one person. Ever give thought to finding someone with whom you might share the burden?
You can stop right there. The last thing I need is anyone else complicating my life.
Okay.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
I had myself a someone once, you know,
Ah.
special like. Till he left me for a specialer someone.
Yes.
Raised my son Theo all by myself
Theo.
after that. He'd be a man grown now, if the war hadn't
Oh,
taken him.
he. The war.
Forgive me, Hasabara. Didn't mean to go drudging up painful memories.
No need for apologies. I don't know anyone who doesn't have a thing or two in their past that haunts them.
Fair.
In truth,
Especially with,
I'm more
with
exhausted
the war.
than anything. Must
Both
be
the Salt
years
Iron
living
War
adult.
and the current war we have
Ain't
now.
got nothing to do with age, and everything to do with the hardships you've overcome. More impressive than an old soldier drowning his sorrows in mead.
What kind of barkeep am I? Letting my poor patron wallow.
And she bringing the mood back up with the
Sometimes
music.
Wallowing's good for the soul. Come on, have a round with me. My treat.
Took you long enough to make the offer.
Hey.
Now, what shall we toast to?
For what?
How about to your son?
I'm done.
Aye.
Okay.
To
To
Theo.
Theo. Last but not least, we have Ian's.
That
Serenoa.
tome is an apprentice's resource, if I'm not mistaken. Are you studying ironworking?
Yes, I borrowed it some time ago from the archives in the Grand Duchy of Esfrost. I haven't had a chance to return it.
You can
What
borrow
with the
books
state
from
of
the
affairs being
archives?
as it is.
I thought you could only read them there.
Ian's? I can't remember
Ian's.
the last time you privileged us with a visit.
Well, my weapons aren't going to forge themselves. But now that I've a respite from my days of sweat and flame, I thought I'd continue my studies.
You hunger for knowledge the way a fire hungers for kindling.
I'd never have become the blacksmith I am if not for what I gleaned from these tomes. If it takes a lifetime of studying and striving to forge the perfect weapon, then so be it. One day, all will know the name of Ian's, the greatest smithy the realm has ever seen.
That is all well and good, but
Everyone's
would you
looking.
mind proclaiming that a little more quietly?
Yeah. Everyone's turned to look.
Yes, apologies. In my excitement, I quite forgot I was in a library.
I must say, I can't help but admire your burning ambition. But while we're speaking in hushed tones,
What's up?
our army has been anything but quiet as of late. You forge weapons for them, yes? Might you have any insight into the matter?
I wish I did, but I have scant time for the goings-on outside my own small forge. Though, now that you mention it, my orders from the army have increased.
Could it be that they're preparing for war? As if a war could break out on the eve of our three
Right?
nations' grand
As if.
adventure.
Like,
Indeed,
imagine.
that would be unthinkable.
Yeah. Oh, that aged poorly.
S. Frost's sudden attack on Glenbrook confirmed my worst fears. And once the war started, I could forget about returning this book. But I still hope to. One day, when peace has returned to our realm.
I hope you will fight by my side till it does.
Of course.
Without hesitation, my lord.
Okay, there we go. Now we can finally start the game. The Rosellan village is under attack, forcing Serenoa to turn his blade against former compatriots. Who are the former compatriots? Rufus? The Hyzante army? Oh, they are already cornered.
Come quietly and you'll live. Keep struggling and I'll slaughter you right here. What'll it be?
I'll never submit to the likes of you.
Jerome.
Cease your assault at once.
Lord Serenoa!
Well, well. Tell me, Serenoa.
Of course,
what do you
Sylvio.
hope to gain by protecting the Roselle?
How about you tell us what you're doing here, Sylvio?
Mind your manners, Iridor. I stand before you as an emissary of the Saintly Seven.
Oh, so he's straight up
Hyzante
admitting.
owns you. Is that it? In so many words, yes. Now, if you'll excuse us, we have some Roselle to repatriate.
You will do no such thing. House Wolford shall protect these people.
So, you admit your betrayal of Hyzante. Get these traitors out of my sight, Rufus. Kill every last one if you must.
I wouldn't even spare them if you asked.
Stand back, everyone.
As if you beat us last time. Oh,
Allow me to stay and
Jerome's gonna
our
fight you.
freedom.
Is he gonna join us?
Very well, but keep your wits about you.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot right there. But, oh, for a second I thought that was Jerome. But no, it's another spearman. Okay. So, where is Jerome? Wait. Sylvio's fighting as well? Oh, here it is. Jerome. Rosellan lets 2. Lateral jump? These are lateral jumping range. What's lateral jump? What's the difference between... What? How does that work? Skyward steer deals physical damage to a single enemy. The higher the enemies above you, the greater the damage. Oh, that's curious, because normally it's the opposite. A lure, chance to tempt an enemy for 2 turns. Oh. 3 cost? You better have a high chance. Also, he has more strength than Roland with the strength amulet. And more health. Like, Jerome is pretty impressive. Okay. Let's clear this out. Duet, for sure. Eridor. Archbold actually could be a good here. We can have Frederica and Gila. 4 more. Anna Surmount can go through this terrain no problem. And maybe we can go Roland, Benedict, and Piccoletta. Like, we're gonna have 4 people in the back. 4? Yeah, 4. Okay. Piccoletta, sure. Archbold, I think you're fine on this side. Huet can go up. Can I move him? No, I cannot. Okay. On this side, we can have Roland going in. Anna. Oh no, Piccoletta's over there. Okay. Actually, I feel like Rufus. I feel like this 3 over here. And then these ones are gonna go. Might not be the best choice, but let's go with this. We're focusing more on Rufus. Okay. I don't think we ever had this soundtrack before.
You fail to understand the situation in which you find yourselves. Without our king, we are but dust, scattered to the wind. What can you lot alone hope to accomplish by fighting Hyzante?
House Wolford will not sacrifice its subjects for some narrow vision of the future.
Yeah.
If history judges us poorly for having done so, then so be it.
Ohana. Ohana means family. Family means never leaving behind or abandoned.
Your pride and ideals cannot shield you from your fate.
We'll see about that.
I shall try my level best.
Okay, Eridor can go down just fine. Did they have any ranged unit? They have a bowman there. And a battle mage. Okay. Yeah, Eridor can go down. Serenoa. Let's give Serenoa some defense.
Splendid.
I will end this.
Anna. Who can... They have battle mage, a bow, healer. Quite a lot of range there. One can just do this. There we go. Oh, that's right, they have wall jump. I completely forgot about that wall jump. Cannot reach him, huh?
For my people.
He's an ally, so I can't really control his actions.
I will see you on the other side of this, Jerome. So long as I breathe, Hyzante will never touch our kin.
I know what's at stake. On my honor as a Rosellan, I shall not lose.
Let's go, Jerome.
Battle is ours.
Too wet. Oh, I can target that one over there. Oh, let's try shadow stitching him.
Try this.
It worked. There we go. We can rise up. Buffed strength for the battle mage and Sylvio. 27. So I think Frederica might be able to defeat him.
I will not fail.
Okay, Sylvio's moving in. I was about to say, he can attack from there. And I just realized that because we're separated, Sheila's gonna have a lot of work. Because she's the only healer. Yeah, I might have needed to have a second healer here.
Come at me.
I can't provoke them. He's a very horrible spot, so I can't go down. What about from the back? 3 height. I think he can only go 2 height. Yeah. Not much he can do here. Probably should have turned my back to the other side. Oh. Serenoa is very low. Look at that range. You can go after the healer. But
With years comes wisdom.
I shall do what I can.
wait, that was a back? Okay. Not really sure how, but I'll take it. Wait. Sylvio can... What? How can... Marching orders... Enrage... Ooh, that's not good. If he enrages my healer, like, I'm in trouble.
Allow me.
Okay, when is Serenoa gonna be going? 13. Yeah, this guy, Rufus, gonna go first, and wow, he's at 8 health left. Benedict, you're gonna have to. By the way, this is all because he has Bulwark. He would have been gone if he hadn't. Oh, let's get it around this guy.
Let us pry out their weakness.
Without the...
Let us reverse our fortunes.
Anna can go down, but that's gonna be a problem. Yeah, not gonna kill it. Wait, is he turned that? Oh, he's turned that way because of the wall. Ah. And also, I see that sight does normal damage. What about throwing poison? Nope, can't reach it. It's a tough spot here. I really should have had a second healer. Gonna go behind.
I won't lose.
Ooh.
Away with you! Victory is mine!
What are you gonna do, Sylvio?
House Telior will be victorious!
At last, you see what's at stake. Show them what you're capable of.
Die!
He's taking out some of my TP, huh?
You'll be fun to kill. Why so scared?
Oh. Fierce wind.
Just you wait.
That battle is ours.
Can I blind him? I can. Why does it only have a 36% chance? $387. Nope. No. Mm-mm. I feel like the bowman would be better to blind.
Forward.
4. That's right, delaying him.
Make this quick.
Yeah, cure wounds. I expected that.
Come at me. To victory!
Let me heal your wounds.
Can she reach it? She can't reach it. She's not safe there, but
This will help.
Glenbrook is in your
yeah, Roland's down. Like, it's such a bad spot.
Close, but not quite.
I'll do my best. Yeehaw!
There we go. You missed.
Allow me.
That's a good damage. 135. not gonna be enough to kill him. Might as well, right?
Slow! You bastard! Ah.
He has a range attack? Throwing knife. He can go up? He can. Oh, but he can't attack? No, that's Anna. What am I talking about? And then Sylvio's just Sylvio. Okay. Gonna...
I see a path to victory.
Ooh. How much does he have left? Oh no, she doesn't have enough. Well, I'm trying to see what I can do here. You still have the defense. Maybe have Serenoa go twice.
This will serve well. My knowledge grows deeper.
Because he will be able to do 2 Hawk Strikes. That's fine.
Prepare to die.
Sylvia, what do you...
Die.
Oh, there goes the decoy.
Too obvious. This battle is ours.
This one's blinded.
You'll get no mercy from us.
She's just up there blinding people.
You've left yourself open.
Good, good. Good one.
Defeat is not an option.
Out of curiosity, if I went here, can I look? 12? $13. That's a normal strike here.
It hurts.
And then my turn again. There you go. Rufus down.
You're quite the challenge. This isn't worth the coin.
Now I think you guys can take care of that.
Allow me.
Just having her turn quicker. Oh, and the mage healing up full now.
Ready or not, here I come.
Hmm. Who's 18? this one. Actually, it won't be a bad idea to go before him.
Shall we begin?
Can I get up there? I don't think to reach. Nope. Okay. So let's heal Frederica.
Your wounds are healed.
I can keep fighting.
And we'll stay back here.
Yeah.
Oh, mighty shot! You can do it up close. Man, I got it right.
You're in the way.
The knockback and dropping people down, it's still satisfying. Wait, the battle mate's all healed up. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I should have been targeting the healer.
I'm only getting started. Let us pry out their weakness.
Let's help out Jerome here.
I needed that.
My turn.
The problem is she's gonna be in a very bad spot. This mages, bowmen. Yeah, if she was full health, maybe, but these three are gonna go before. What are you immune to? Poison, immobility, blindness. So basically all I have. Poison, Anna, immobility, and blindness, Huette. I honestly don't know what I can do here. I guess I'll try poisoning them. By them I mean him, because the other one is immune.
This'll hurt.
Victory is mine. Huh.
Too obvious.
Good dodge.
Time to take flight.
Wait, can she attack from here? The battle mage.
Allow me.
There we go. Jerome can finish that off. That just wins. There we go. I can. It's not much, but.
Defeat is not an option.
I shouldn't have done that. The poison would kill him. That was a waste.
For my kith and kin.
You've lost your way, young Serenoa. You risk sullying your house's good name in pursuit of some perverse sense of justice.
There were other ways to resolve this, Sylvio. Alas, you were too blind to see them.
Yep.
You dare lecture me when it is your head in the clouds? I did what a lord must do to preserve his house.
Oh, let's check. Reinforcement. Let's check how well your house is doing and how my house is doing.
He has reinforcements. We must outlast them. Let them come. I'll fight them to the very last.
Okay, now calm down, Jerome. Yeah, because I cannot reach.
For one and all.
My apologies.
Wait, that.
How about this?
That was nothing.
Only a flesh wound.
Yeah. A meaty flesh wound. That's some. No, that's not. Not stairs. I'd have to go all the way around the back. I mean, I can heal up myself as well. I don't need to rely on Gila for it. Just outside the range, huh? Guess we ought to focus on Sylvio right now.
Together.
Chuax.
Prepare to die. May your legacy wither and die.
My turn.
No, thank you for letting me back away.
Sounds
Too slow.
There is no mercy on the battlefield.
Well, I can just do this.
You have nothing left.
Save us a little trouble.
This battle is ours. Take that!
Now we'll go over here to collect this, and then we can leave to the left. Or the middle.
Allow me.
Like, let's go through the back. Take the long way around. Okay, that move is annoying.
Just you wait. Defeat is not an option.
Look at all these people that they're able to target now. $12, not bad.
We win. Victory is within reach.
I think I'm gonna... Let's go over here, actually. Decoy, please. Oh, he's gonna heal Sylvio.
What took you so long?
I shall do what I can.
Both of them need healing. I think I'm gonna give Anna first.
My apologies.
Because Anna has to go in. Sheila can fight from the back.
No need to panic. That's it. No! With years comes wisdom. Come at me. Show me what you're made of.
I should have healed instead, actually. We're gonna get close,
You
but
left yourself open.
not quite there yet.
Allow me.
Because of the healing. I think the decoy is about to be gone.
Let us pry out there.
Let me just see how much health he has. Okay, the healing. He still would be alive.
A brief respite.
We'll get him yet.
This cannot stand. May your legacy wither and die.
I don't think she has any TP right now. Good. Well, didn't really matter, did it? So, it delayed them a little. Time enough for the rest to... So the rest to do something.
Darkness engulfs you.
Oh, that hurt.
How about this?
And that's why I healed her. Can she do anything from up here? No. Just collect the TP. That annoying move again.
Just you wait. For the honor of House Wolford.
Okay, there we go. He's down.
Here. No. That hit the mark.
The big guns are out. Now I need to take care of the crowd. Let's just heal. Stay here to heal up. There we go.
For one and all.
Everyone's heals up.
Tides are turning.
My growth is plain to see.
Okay, we got this.
Your orders?
Not enough. Crowd's too big for my liking.
Allow me.
Really going after her. Okay, the healer's gone. That's good. Good dodge.
I'll take you on.
Let's see, who can I provoke here?
Come and get me.
Not the bowman, but the other two.
Let us pry out their weakness.
Let's walk the stairs. Give Serenoa the ball.
Time to strike.
Much appreciated.
This battle is ours.
Oh yeah, the bowman that's
No mercy
not
from us.
in fury.
My pride is my shield.
Good job.
I will end this. Careful.
That's why we blind them. Won't be enough because we both don't do a lot of damage. But he's a spearman, right? That. Yeah. 2 range. So perhaps.
My stratagem isn't that seem to work.
I learned a new trick.
Illusion Vanish. What's that do?
For my people.
There we go. That's what I was hoping for. Yeah.
Forward.
Let me see what Illusion Vanish. Your clone explodes when defeated in battle, dealing proportionate physical damage to adjacent enemies. That's cool. Hello? Sound? Let me fix that. There we go. Sounds back. No, 19's not gonna be much. 160.
Let me heal your wounds.
A little late. Can you? You can heal care though.
That's the stuff. Me too.
Allow me.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal.
Allow me.
Just stay there.
You won't beat me.
Sure.
Let me help. Look at me learning.
There is no mercy on the battlefield.
So close. Okay, I'll just leave that too. Oh, attack.
My turn.
Yeah, owie indeed.
Battle is ours.
Now just get rid of this guy.
I fight for peace.
Scorch.
With the powers in me.
Actually, if I moved up a little, I could have hidden 3 people instead. I just didn't see that guy because of the barrier. Now with the new upgrade, let's put it over here. And move you back a bit.
Just you wait.
Oh, He's actually going against Archbolt. Oh, the Pearl.
Of House Wolfort.
18. I could get rid of that guy, but
Death from above.
you're the one I'm after.
Shall we begin? All better.
There you go. That was dealt with. I'm gonna have to heal later. At a later date. Interesting. Oh, because of Fury. And there we go, he's gone.
Time to end this.
Here I come. From this range.
I'll take you on. You're in the way.
There is no mercy on the battlefield.
Oh, shooting from up top, huh?
I fight for peace.
My stratagem is superior.
Is it?
We will make
Is these
our
the
ideals
only ones left?
reality. Ready or not, here I come.
What about from over here? Can I ball toss it? No. Can't from over here.
My stratagem is superior.
And she can ball toss from down there.
For my people.
Oh, and he can hit it. I wanted the spoil. No, the spoil there. It's gonna spoil. Oh, Roland went down extremely early, and Anna went down fine. Resurrection earring. I'm sorry, what? The leather. And the metal of bravery. So Huette's gonna promote. Somebody's gonna get a weapon upgrade. And I don't know who's getting that ring.
Wait, I beg you. Would you truly kill me, your ally? Just to protect
Your
the
ally?
Roselle? The Roselle are
I think you already made your point. You're not an ally.
How dare you insult my people? Ah! How could you?
What about you, Rufus? Are you gonna... Oh, he's definitely gunned it this time.
I lose too many employers this way. I'd best make myself scarce.
As if we'd let you get away. Word of this can't get out.
Too late. Sylvio sent word of your betrayal eons ago.
Hmm.
Expect Hyzante's army on the morrow. They'll finish the job then.
Okay, Hyzante's also coming in, huh?
And so, we've bought no time at all.
Lord Serenoa, I cannot thank you enough for coming to our aid.
Are you joining us, Jerome?
To show our gratitude with a feast.
I'm afraid we haven't the time for such levity.
We must tend to the wounded, of course.
And there's more to come.
Surely we have time enough to catch our breath and fill our stomachs. Let us not spurn their kindness.
The young lord's right. Steal that belly of yours.
What's up, Roland?
What are you doing here, dear Roland?
Jerome is a young man of formidable convictions.
Indeed. He took the fate of his people in his hands and fought for their freedom.
Just as you have done.
I did what any lord would do to protect the sovereignty of their land. Nothing more. I will not see the Roselle stripped of their humanity and treated as objects.
Hyzante's goddess has always seen them as such.
History has ever seen the strong rule the weak, but that does not mean it must always be so.
Good words.
I do not mean to excuse
Good
it.
words.
Rather, I see now that this village and all of House Wolford suffers because of the royal family's impotence.
That's not...
I speak the truth, and you know it.
What?
Cordelia and the people of Glenbrook cry for aid as we speak. Yet here I sit, cowering behind a mask and a false name. Who dare call me a leader?
Calm down. We're first surviving, then we're building up to do a comeback. We're not at that point yet. Just abide your time.
Serenoa, making a valiant stand in defense of the Rosellan village, slays Sylvio and Rufus. Word of their disobedience reaches the Holy One, who sends an army to conquer the heretics. With the enemy only a day's march from their doorstep, House Wolford and the Roselle scramble to mount one last stand.
Hyzante's coming for us.
Is of the essence.
Why are you insisting on the Rosellan now at all times? In the still of the night. Serenoa wants what... Oh, wait, hold up. Let's go to the encampment, because we got weapon upgrade and promotions to do. Remote. Huet. Who's gonna get a rise in range, which increases the range of the first normal attack after battle begins. And focus, raise your accuracy and luck. Then gain, there we go, the use of one more command. However, you can only move once. Oh, that's cool. You can use focus and then another move. Okay.
It is an honor to serve.
And next up will be Site Set. Anything interesting here? No? Okay. What about weapon upgrade? Just Lionel. You're in luck. So what are these? Increase the effect of charm, or increase the success rate? Ruffle Feather is the anger one, right? Because there's this little mark here. Okay. I did not even look. Yeah, nothing. Okay. Not much here. Serenoa wonders what recourse is left for them, knowing that not much time remains until the Hyzantean army arrives. So what can we do?
So that's the size of it. House Wolford has gone to such great lengths for us.
It was our decision and ours alone. Your people brought nothing upon us.
It is as
I would have
Serenoa
done that
says.
for anyone.
We are happy to do all that we can to protect you.
Forgive me, Lady Frederica, but your mother was Lady Orlea, was she not?
Oh, we're finally learning of her mother's name.
I cannot help but feel 'twas fated to be so.
You knew my mother?
Where did you hear of this, Jerome? I've told you not a whit about her.
I overheard whispers between my mother and father long ago.
Oh, really?
Why would the elders labor to keep such information secret?
Well, truth be told, we feared being persecuted anew.
And so your greatest fears have come true. Pray, hide no longer, and tell Lady Frederica what you know.
There's not much else to lose now.
You know the history of Hyzante's oppression of the Roselle, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Then you know of the Rosellan revolt that occurred 30 years ago. Your mother, Lady Orlea, led that uprising.
Oh, she was the one that led the uprising.
From Hyzante's rule, here to the Wolford domain. She was a woman of great courage. She even left a sizable gash upon the goddess's statue as we departed.
The statue that stands tall in the source. I've never heard tell of this gash.
I reckon not. Hyzante would never admit to such a thing.
Yeah, of course.
But we, Roselle, know the truth.
I had no idea my mother was involved with the revolt, let alone led it.
And it was my father who gave them this land to settle.
That he did.
Oh, history repeats itself.
Vowed to fight on. To
Her mother and your father,
oh,
both you.
The rest of us, battered and bruised in the escape, parted ways with her and remained here to live out our days in peace.
And so she eventually found her way to Esfrost, where she was taken in. I thank you for sharing such a wonderful chapter of my mother's history.
I hear she rallied the people to her cause with these words. The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessing spread across all Norzelia. The blessing of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
How much of this have you heard?
He's like,
hold, I beg you,
oh my...
recite those words once more.
Oh?
The Holy State's teachings are false. The goddess's blessing.
Did you figure something out about the true goddess?
The blessing of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
So there exists a key that gives the lie to the goddess's teachings. With that in hand, we can yet confront Hyzante.
Interesting way to put it.
Pray tell, good elder, what might it look like?
Alas, I fear I do not know.
I know not to what they were referring, but my parents always said Lady Orlea left it in this village.
Oh, in this village.
The key is here. Jerome, please. We would speak with your parents at once.
I'm afraid that's not possible. They both passed many moons
The
ago.
way they talked about, that's what I was expecting.
We must find this key, Lord Serenoa. I know it sounds like a fool's errand, but I feel we have no other choice.
So this gonna
I agree.
be
It is a slight hope, but
able to give us a bargaining chip, a negotiation, to actually have some discussion instead of going to full violence. Okay. We know the key is in this village, though precisely what form it takes still eludes us. I need more information. If the key does indeed remain in the village, I will find it. I must. Well, for starter, let's Whenever I look at my children, I am reminded that we cannot bow to Hyzante, the man. True range. I use one, I'm glad to get another one. Something special in the village. What you seek is old, the elder meaning of it. I cling to the thought that Leia's great hope for us lay in this very village. I wish it to be true, from the bottom of my heart. This is the door, right? Yep. What we got here? Iron. The legend so old, it's been forgotten. Or is someone keeping something from it? They leave us no choice but to upend the village in our search. You're looking for something old? I seem to recall seeing a rather old-looking mirror behind the elder's house. It was quite brilliant all those years ago, but I'm sure it has rusted over by now. A mirror? Thou have a long, dark history of being oppressed, and I reckon they none too happy about outsiders like us reminding them of it. Oops. There are a number of objects within the village that could qualify as the key we're looking for. Anything special or unusual in the village? Not that I have heard of. Before Leah's keen hand, we may at long last land the grievous blow against Hyzante. We must speak with the other villagers and learn what they know of it. What was Mother trying to say? Serenoa, we have to find that key. I know we need to search the village. What are we searching for? Oh? It's an old rusty mirror. Oh, this must be the elder's house. Ah yes, that's the one. Pray wait a moment, I'll polish for you. Oh, is it because I talked to him beforehand? There, isn't it beautiful? My word, the designs on the mirror are exquisite. I had no idea the rust hid such splendor. Perhaps this mirror is the key that will show us the way forward. Not sure how, but maybe. Anything special? Well, there is a pelt in Jerome's abode that his parents were quite fond of. What's up, kid? What are you looking for, sir? Is it treasure? Why yes, I'm on the treasure hunt. And you? Are you playing hide and seek? I'm looking for something that could help everyone in the village. I'm sorry we're causing such a commotion. I hear there's something incredible hidden in this village. Do you know anything about it? Let's be gentle. It's okay, I always get yelled at for playing tag too loud, so I know how it feels. Many thanks. Perhaps I can join your game once I find what I seek. That's a promise, but you better know that I'm the best there is at playing games. Oh, what? Oh? Silver. Mommy and Daddy are really upset. I'm scared. Let's look at Jerome's abode. As soon as I can get off that box. I'm guessing this belt? I've never seen a belt this color. Perhaps this is the one Jerome's parents took such a liking to. Perhaps the pelt is the key that will show us the way forward. I mean, his parents were very much keen of it. So maybe? But I'm not entirely sure. Do we have any more doors? I think just this one. Let's take a look. Oh, Roland was up there. I could also talk to him. Excuse me? Adric crystal. what's even is an azure crystal. Material required to upgrade. Oh! A rank 3 weapon. Serenoa Roland. Oh, okay. So Serenoa could get a rank 3. I think Roland. No, Roland. I do have a silver. Serenoa getting rank 3 and Roland get a rank 2. And also, this resurrection automatically revives the wearer once per battle. Maybe Anna's, that she's always going in. There we go. That is such a strong item. Oh, I can do it over here. I didn't really think about that. Let's upgrade Serenoa. So there's might. Pure iron. Recover HP when you defeat an enemy. Grant 1 TP to all allies within range. Under Conviction's banner. Okay, that's nice. Roland. I could also upgrade Coletta. She's the next silver. And decrease CP cost of double trust or decrease TP cost of rush. Both are good. I feel like double trust is the better play here. Because rush puts me in such a forward position that it might be awkward to play it out. Sometimes being a problem. Increase damage of crits. Okay. Double trust. Oh, okay. Serenoa got a class promotion and has a rank 3 weapon. Not something shine there. Okay. I know nothing of any key, and you find nothing of any import in my house. We took such great pains to flee the source, yet our past continues to haunt us. Perhaps we're tainted after all. He's starting to sound defeated. And also, what do you mean you don't have nothing? You had an azure crystal right here. That is such a high value. Right, Bennett? Was that guy over that girl over there? I wonder why the village elder was so vehemently denied the key's existence. I should almost like search his home myself. Preferably while he's away. Though I know he would not grant such a request from the likes of me. Jerome, can you help out here? He clings to the top of the leaf. Okay. Nope, he cannot. Okay, so if it's not Jerome, maybe Frederica's the only other person they talk to. I should like search the elder's home, but I know he'll never grant me permission. It needs me to ask you this, but might you be able to draw him out of his house for a moment? Ordinarily, I would not stand for deceiving an old man, but I agree that this may be the only chance we get. Oh, okay, so it was Frederica. Elder, forgive me, but may I speak with you outside for a moment? An audience outside of Lady Frederica. What do I owe the honor, and what would you ask for? Oh, okay, I can move. There we go. He was sitting right on top of it. A box, hidden beneath the rug. It would seem the elder did have something to hide. Oh, that's a giant crystal. Perhaps this rock's the key that will show us the way forward. Yeah, the pink rock. A lot of pink stuff. Pink pelt, pink rock. Was it a pink mirror as well? We just want to live our lives. Why must we be chased to the ends of the earth? You did this. This is all your fault. feel your pain, but I only need to know if Lady Aurelia left anything behind. He may help us achieve peace? Not so. We're all confronting the results of Rosellan uprising. No, you never know how sorry I am that we could not protect you. I beg you, gather your things and go. This one. Like, this one's bad, and this one's like, I gave up, I lost. All I know is that we'll never go back to the life we had before. I wish you luck in your search for the trinket. Pray do not lose hope. The road ahead is arduous, but we must remain strong. House Wolford will do all you can for you. You've taken all my venom, and still show me kindness. Forgive me, truly, for I have misjudged you. I must think of what I can do to prepare. Oh, that's cool. Like, they were just angry at you, but still showing kindness to the point that it broke them. They admitted they were in the wrong. Pure iron. That's the highest level one, right? Because it's quality iron, the second. We should seek out, who knows, the legends of Roselle. That would be our best chance to find the key. Ah. And the ones we know is Jerome and the Elder. Let me just talk to Jerome one last time. Yeah, no. Okay, so that makes sense. So Roland was hinting at the Elder. I'm afraid I have none to tell, my dear. I endeavored to forget the past. What did she ask? If there are any stories you remember of days gone by, I should love to hear them. Anything at all will do. Okay, let me just do a final check. That's where we got the mirror. Yeah. I think we're good. I think we're good to go.
Elder, for the sake of the Roselle, I've come to speak with you about the key.
Lord Serenoa, I am not one to speak in metaphor and code. I bid you tell me precisely what it is you seek.
Oh, now I have to pick. Offer the pink belt, offer the pink mirror, offer the pink rock. Considering the effort we had to go through for the rock, I think this is the one.
Could this pink rock be the key?
Where did you find that?
So it is the key.
What
do you know of it?
Surely surprised. Why is he hiding that?
Clearly I can deceive you no longer. I shall tell you everything.
Why are you trying to deceive us, Elder?
What is this strange pink rock?
A simple taste shall tell you all you need to know.
Is it salt? Okay, Benedict's the one testing.
My word, it tastes of salt. No,
It is a
salt.
salt rock.
Truly.
Pink rock, that's...
A rock of salt.
Indeed, it is. And the story behind it is a long one. This crystal before you was brought here by Lady Aurelia.
Okay.
My mother brought this?
And you knew of this?
Why the rock salt?
Yes, but the seeds of conflict ought not to be left in the sun where they are apt to grow. That was our decision.
Okay, but
Are there any other crystals like this?
the conflict is already at your door.
Lady Aurelia spoke of a repository rife with salt, hidden somewhere in Norzelia.
Oh.
And where
Is
might
that the
salt
mine?
be?
Is that what Dragon found in the mine?
And I feared the knowledge passed with Lady Aurelia.
We're putting things together because we never found out what Dragon found in the mine.
This Lady Frederica, anything at all? Did
So
your
those
mother
are salt
ever mention
mines.
These crystals to you before? It is imperative that you remember.
I apologize, but this is my first time hearing of them as well.
Calm yourself, Benedict. You're scaring the lass.
Calm myself. The very existence of this crystal changes the nature of our realm as we know it. If you have ever wondered why Hyzante oppresses the Roselle or confines them to the source, this is your answer.
So they did it all to hide the existence of the repository and monopolize salt.
And not just that, anyone who finds that repository could reign over all Norzelia.
Would it really have so great an influence?
Yeah, I'm surprised as well.
Salt is a divine boon, a gift from the goddess to her true believers. It is one of Hyzante's fundamental beliefs.
I remember that.
Due to their monopoly on both salt and the source, has appeared true all these years. But no longer. With this crystal alone, we can prove their doctrine false.
Revealing their absolute teachings to be mere fabrications would shake Hyzante to its very core.
Interesting.
There may be hope for us yet.
I mean, they're already after us, so what's the worst that could happen?
Lord Serenoa, if you would, I should like to be the one to speak to them.
Okay, Benedict.
Of course, Benedict.
I mean, you have wise words, so you're probably one of the most capable in our group to convince them. The next morning. Oh, wow. There is a lot of soldiers. And X-Arms someone.
It is for us to meet under such circumstances. But for disobeying the Holy One's order, I must strike you down.
Before that, Minister Exham, there is something we wish to show you.
It is a mere fragment of something we have discovered in this village. It is a crystal made entirely of salt.
What madness is this you speak?
Rock salt. Oh, he's tasting it?
This is salt, indeed. But how is this possible?
It appears to have been passed down among the Roselle, and in a quantity large enough to rival the source.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Perhaps so, but we have proof.
And that's why they were trying to trap the Roselle so they could not get the word out.
Do not escape you.
What is it that you want?
An audience with the Holy One, and a guarantee of safety for us and everyone in this village.
It would be a waste to dispose of both the crystal and House Wolford here. Very well.
He is a fan of House Wolford, after all.
And you have my word that the village will be safe from harm.
Thank you, Minister.
Okay, they're putting down their weapons.
Oh, how I wish I could see the Holy One's face contorted so.
The X-Arms is a cool one. I noticed right at the beginning at the tourney.
We owe our lives to this.
We really do.
Crystal of salt. Or salt crystal, shall we call it?
The Holy
Salt crystal.
teachings are false. The goddess's blessings spread across all Norzelia. The blessings of the true goddess. The blessing that shall be the key to the chains that bind our people.
Can you imagine if crystals like this were hidden beneath the surface of Norzelia?
Imagine?
I don't imagine Hyzante being blind to their existence. Salt is the lifeblood of their nation.
Agreed.
You know, maybe a certain mine that we were starting to dig.
Oppressed the Roselle to hide it.
You intend to negotiate with the Holy One, then?
Correct. This time, we shan't fail. Not with this salt crystal in our
Now we have our proof. They're always so strong on proof.
If their teachings are truly false, could you not ask them to free the Roselle at the source?
That is a risk we cannot afford to take.
Okay, I was
Priority
in the
is
hope of that.
rebuilding Wolfort.
But I see your point,
We cannot
Benedict.
even hope to protect our own Rosellan village. I do hope you understand.
I see. I suppose you are right.
And what will you do once granted those privileges, Benedict?
What will I do?
I tire of being made to decide like this time and time again. Don't you, Serenoa?
I do. Our choices grow ever harder, each time piercing me deeper.
Yeah, things
Time
are
we decide what
very
to do for
tough.
ourselves.
Our little domain against the world.
With Hyzante beside us, we can defeat Frost. So when we meet, I will ask the Holy State to go to war with us.
Okay, so we're getting a direction towards the end. Might not be close to the end yet, but
House Wolford protects the Roselle in defiance of the Holy One's orders. Hyzante sends an army to punish Wolford for their disobedience. Cornered though they may be, Serenoa and his comrades discover a crystal of salt.
or salt
hidden
crystal.
in the Rosellan village. Benedict leverages its very existence in negotiations with the opposing General Exum and succeeds.
Exum. I keep calling him X-Arm, but Exum. Why did I never hear them say that before?
Change not only Hyzante, but the entire land of Norzelia. With it in hand, Serenoa goes to meet the Holy One.
Before we do that, let me check if I can upgrade Serenoa's weapon with that superior iron. I can. And I could get this or this. This seems a very, all three of them seems very interesting. Under convictions banner. 10 superior irons. That's gonna cost us a lot. There we go. We got our convictions banner. Serenoa uses the discovery of the salt crystal to gain an audience for the Hierophant. Let's see how well that will go.
We granted you an audience because of Minister Exham's petition, but I did not expect you to show us this. A crystal made of salt.
Mm-hmm.
How very fascinating.
Surprising,
Certainly
isn't it?
does contradict the doctrine here in our blessed land.
Glad you realized that.
Were
Oh.
real.
And of
Have
course.
you any proof that this was not created by magic or technology?
Well, with all due respect, Minister, I have a question for you in return.
Oh, Benedict?
What do you think of Frost and Glenbrook's decree to stop trade with Hyzante?
I think it nothing more than a threat. Neither would last very long without our salt.
Gustadov is no fool. Such an edict would not come without proper countermeasures in place.
Oh yeah, because they did learn about what was in the mine. So if the mine really does have salt, he doesn't.
Redundant at best, and your nation
Everything's coming together.
dire straits without the salt taxes revenue.
What is it you want from us?
Your full support.
Lend us your strength, and together we can defeat Frost, and Hyzante's ties to all nations will remain intact.
You mean to start a war? The kingdom of Glenbrook may be naught but a puppet now, but it was once your homeland. You understand this, yes?
We do.
Even so, my people do not wish for war. We must try to resolve this peacefully first.
Good luck with that.
Do you think Gustadolf can be reasoned with? Need I remind you that it was he who invaded Glenbrook? He is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
A very poor sheep.
Be that as it may, neither my people nor soldiers will accept it as a reason to go to war.
Then I shall give you one.
Okay, Roland. What do you got?
For I am the second son of King Ragnar.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't know that.
Roland Glenbrook.
You live. There is no mistaking that face.
Wait.
Huh. So the prince lives to slay
Then
his
haven't they
kingdom's
met him
empire.
before he
Cannot
took
ask for a better
put on the
reason.
mask?
If you need a just
Were
cause
they
for
really
war,
pulled?
let it be me.
There it is, without the mask and hat.
Let's stop Gustadolf.
It all makes sense now.
Okay, so you're agreeing? We're on good terms?
Have you heard? Pray tell me what you would have us do.
Their music picking up.
It shall be done. Wolfort, Prince Roland, heed the words of the Holy One. The holy state of Hyzante stands with you.
There we go.
The Holy One would see you defeat Esfrost and restore peace to Norzelia.
And there we go. We
Our
got
nation shall spare no effort in your fight against Gustadolf. From this day forth, we support Prince Roland as our commander and Lord Serenoa as one of the saints.
okay. So Serenoa is a saintly 7 now.
A saint.
It
We are brethren now. We ride to war together.
okay. I did not expect that. They would accept him being a saint now.
Well, would you look at that? We secured Hyzante's support, and you even got yourself named one of the Saintly Seven.
I know, right?
We
I'm
also
surprised
received
how
a
well
signed
that went.
document stating the Roselle in Wolford are left in our care.
Look at that, like
Going, lad.
everything
Oh,
went
it is Benedict and
spectacular.
Roland to whom we owe this victory.
True. Lord of the House Wolfort, saintly 7 minister. The Lord of the House Wolfort, he was bestowed with the vacant seat of Sorceless after minister's illicit dealings were exposed, and is now one of the saintly 7. True, Roland and
So much
Benedict
on my behalf. My
got all the
weakness
credit.
and worthlessness have brought pain and misfortune to you all, and for that I must apologize.
Nothing to apologize, lad.
You've got nothing to apologize for. I already told you. House Wolfort's the sword and shield of the crown.
And he always been our friend.
I've decided that I must press forward, even if it means crawling forth on my hands and knees. I ask for your support as always.
Of course.
I know I will need it.
And you shall have it. I am with you every step of the way, my lord.
So are we.
Is something the matter, Frederica?
No. My apologies for worrying you.
What's up?
Now, to battle! We take back Glenbrook with our own hands!
Now things are getting spicy. The Saintly 7 discussed their earlier council and the possibilities on the horizon. And that includes Serenoa now. Or just not all the Saintly 7 together.
Know about this salt crystal exam?
Oh. Sorry.
No. Neither did I know of Prince Roland's survival. I thought he had perished.
Likewise. What did you make of the Holy One's decree?
Hyzante is a grand nation, but unfortunately not one blessed with a bountiful harvest of anything other than salt. Were we not able to trade
Fair.
it, there is no doubt our nation would wither to naught. We've relied solely on salt for much too long.
And that's why they
That reality was made
hold
painfully
so much
clear to us.
the monopoly of salt.
Harsh words. But true nonetheless. Do you think we can triumph over Esfrost?
Mark my words, Minister Camso. There is no fight Exham Marshal cannot win.
I mean, he lost to us in the tourney. Just saying.
The Holy One has ordered for us to deliver our Elfric to House Wolfort.
And here I thought your research results to be top secret. What a curious turn of events.
Or Ulfric?
Perhaps the Hierophant determined it a good chance to test them in the field. They could easily sink an Frosty's ship or two.
And yet I see not a trace of a smile on you.
I never wanted to build weapons for war.
Yep.
Yet you don't think twice about toying with human life. How ironic.
How dare you!
Have a wonderful day.
The audacity of Edor's dog.
Yeah, Edor really playing the cards. Okay. The missive arrives from Sycrus, alerting Gustavo to dangers back home. Who's Sycrus again? The name sounds familiar.
Are you certain it's wise to return to Esfrost alone, Your Grace? You are needed here.
If Sycrus's missive is to be believed, I'm afraid matters are far too grave to be left to anyone else. Svarog's deception is nearing its climax.
Ah,
His
I remember now.
profits are being used to build a weapon of untold destructive power.
Our anonymous source from the manufactory hinted at as much. Svarog is bold to have carried out his plan this far.
Oh.
Death Snell? What's that?
Let the adults speak, my dear.
Like you're much of an adult,
If we're to be
Phallus.
wed, then there should be trust between us. How long do you intend on treating me like a child?
Very well. Tell her, Phallus.
If you insist, brother. This weapon combines the powerful explosives developed by Dragan with Esfrost's mastery of steelcraft. Although yet to be tested,
Still
this
with
cannon is said to have
explosives.
the power to breach even Hyzante's walls. The goddess's shield would buckle under a single blast.
But
So they're making a
the shield
cannon.
is impregnable.
I have heard nothing of this. Do you think so little of your general?
A general is to win me victory, as and when I command it.
Svarog's intent isn't to bring Hyzante to heel, however. He means to use the cannon against Brother. But the fool was so blinded by ambition that he never saw the strings guiding his every deed.
Fool that he may be, he served his purpose well. The cannon could not have been made without his engineers and Dragan's research.
Ah.
He will die secure in the knowledge that his bloodline contributed to the glory of Esfrost. Sadly, he shall not live to see his work completed. With it, we shall do what our forebears could not. The goddess's shield shall yield before Esfrost's might and ingenuity.
If we can even approach the walls, brother, the trade embargo will ensure that Hyzante is especially wary of our actions.
On the contrary, their focus will turn inward. With naught else to leverage their influence with, they will take measures to see that none of their precious salt escapes their borders. There may be some gnashing of teeth, to be sure, but it will only be in an attempt to hide their inner turmoil. Erica, muster a
If
force.
Wolford
March to the
hadn't
Hierophant's
interrupted,
palace at
maybe.
once. Deliver to Hyzante my final demands.
As you wish, brother. I shall gather what news I can of the Saintly Seven's machinations.
Phallus, you will remain in Glenbrook. Conduct yourself as if I had never left.
You hardly need ask, brother.
That is all. Now
So Gustavo is going to Asfrost, Phallus is staying Glenbrook, and Erica is going to Hyzante. And Avlora is just out of the loop.
Even his own flesh and blood are but tools to be used and then discarded when their purpose is served.
He has faith only in himself. Such has ever been his way.
So imagine Erica is gonna find out what happened in Hyzante and how Wolfort came to play. So Seacrest is like the leader of the guard in the city. I met him on the second save when I went to Aspros instead of Hyzante.
Declaring a trade stop with Hyzante. Gustadolf sends
Not a bad guy.
to deliver his ultimatum, and dispatches an army to Glenbrook to increase the pressure on the Holy State. Hyzante, under the banner of Prince Roland, sends Minister Serenoa Wolfort to prepare for retaliation.
So we're going against Erica?
Softly but surely, Rosellan descends into war once more.
Yeah. Our time has come.
Those are the Archduke's wishes. I implore you not to forget that this is his final
Why is
offer.
Serenoa not there?
Come to think of it, I heard that Wolfort was added to your saintly ranks. Where might he be?
Yeah.
I'm afraid I cannot answer that. The dealings of the Saintly Seven are our business, and ours alone.
Mm-hmm.
How disappointing. I had hoped to congratulate him on his promotion.
That wretched woman. Those are hardly wishes.
Esfrost all but demands us open the source to restore our diplomatic relations.
The Duchy fears neither a lack of salt nor the goddess's shield. I can assume they have a plan in mind.
Then this was no more than a ploy to stall for time. We had best expedite House Wolfort's plans to take the capital. Minister Exham, send word to Minister Serenoa.
Kinda nice here, Minister Serenoa. And Exham. The Citadel assault was a little away from Hyzante, and then now the new minister is even further away from the capital.
You wish to lend us Hyzante's new weapon?
Yes, it was a directive from the Holy One. The
What is this new weapon?
Minister Lila develops in secret.
Oh, that's right. It's the... forgot what's the name.
I compressed a vast quantity of magic into crystal form. We call this weapon Elfric.
Elfric, that's it.
The blast crystals have yet to be perfected, but they can decimate a castle wall easily enough.
We thank you for your support.
Be forewarned that their power makes him unwieldy in an average battle.
They are not meant to be used on people. Furthermore, we are only giving you a single blast crystal.
Regardless, I'm certain it will come in handy while recapturing Whiteholm Castle.
Its incomplete nature makes it regrettably tricky to use, but Milo should be able to take care of that for you.
Milo?
Use them both wisely. I am not.
Oh.
A dancer by trade, but assistant to the Saintly Seven on occasion.
So you're Milo. Milo UL. A dancer who appears almost out of thin air to do the Saintly Seven's bidding. She serves as their spy and can easily hold her own in a fight. Okay, she can hold her own in a fight, that's good to know. I was not too fond of her because of the other minister. She was doing the other minister's business with Sylvia and stuff. But maybe when she's on our side, my opinion might change.
It isn't my first time flirting with danger.
A Hyzantean spy?
Very likely.
Yeah.
The blast of the Elfic should help you catch the enemy unawares. Both my army and Minister
It's also a
Kansas
way
are going
for
to attack.
them to keep an eye
Just
on
command
us.
to you, Mr. Serenoa.
Okay, Exam and Kenzo are also gonna join us.
Plan to reclaim Glenbrook.
Oh, we got 2 story moments here. Okay, so she did not join. Good, good. 19. Okay, actually, 9. I think everyone but Roland went to level 19 in that fight. Roland did not even have a chance to get to level 19. How many times has Roland died in my playthrough? Like 3 or 4 times? I think 3. Secrets reports a theft in the archives to Gusto. And now you guys are gonna meet Secrets.
You have made a grave error in allowing thieves to raid the archives, Constable Secrets.
Forgive me. My guards gave chase as soon as they noticed intruders, but they'd already fled beyond our reach.
There is Secrets, dude, the head of the Aegis Constabulary, charged with upholding the peace. His honest and orderly conduct has earned Gusado's favor.
What did they take?
Luckily, they were unable to gain entry to where we keep our more sensitive texts. All they were able to make off with was a single book penned by the late Lady Orlea.
Orlea?
Oh.
She left behind a message of sorts?
Orlea
She'd been
had a
to be
book.
passed on to Lady Frederica when she came of age, but it seems those wishes were forgotten.
Thalos or Erica must have hidden it from her. They
Of
derived
course.
no greater pleasure than from tormenting her. Do we know what was written in this book?
No. Storage records indicate it was protected by some arcane seal.
It must be of
Special
some
seal.
significance if she would go to such lengths to protect it from prying eyes.
But who stole it?
Perhaps something to do with the Rosellan liberation, for which she fought so fiercely. Or perhaps it is not but a mother complaining to her daughter of a duchy they both despise.
I shall send a party to hunt down the thieves at once.
No need. Such ruffians are unlikely to be in the employ of our foe. No doubt they were simply looking to loot us to fill their own purses. It is more important that we dispose of
Sometimes
Spark and
I'm
finish
surprised
them
how
with all haste.
naive
Dispatch your
Gusadov can
soldiers
be. Even though
Your
he
Grace.
is always acting smart and strategic, sometimes he can be rather naive and underestimate stuff. Tellior Streets. Under secret orders, Huet scouted Tellior domains with Flugi. A missive arrives at Whiteholm Castle, informing Phalas and the others of the outcome of Erica's negotiations. Am I gonna be able to watch both? Or am I supposed to pick one? Well, let's go over here. Tellior Street.
Benedict asked me to scout out Telliorn where the Esfrosti soldiers are stationed. But I hardly see any around. Why did he ask me to come here in the first place? I doubt it would matter in reclaiming the capital. But orders are orders. I should report back.
That's curious. Okay, so we are doing both. Let's see the response.
Ah, tidings from Erica. She says Hyzante refused our final offer.
You seem surprised.
Right?
There was no way Hyzante would agree to open the source.
I know that, but the negotiations were meant to buy us time. Yet it seems their soldiers are already on the move. Damn it all! This wasn't supposed to happen.
If you play with fire, you get burned. Now we have no recourse but to meet them in battle without the Archduke.
So it has come
True.
to war then?
Gustav's not here.
We just have to beat them at their own game.
So we had Rufus
Their newest
rematch.
is heading the vanguard.
So I'm guessing Flora's rematch is coming up
The
soon.
former retainer to the crown is coming to visit. Right, Cordelia?
Enough, Thalas. I won't allow such impudence toward the Queen.
Queen? This child is nothing more than a puppet. And I believe the impotent one here is you, Avlora. A general has no right telling the Prime Minister what to do.
I had no idea the Prime Minister's job was to torment the weak.
Oh yeah, Phallus has
Enough,
always
General
been doing that.
I will answer the Prime Minister.
Okay.
As the Queen of Glenbrook, I shall protect my kingdom until my dying breath, no matter who may stand against me.
Oh.
It appears your impudence is contagious, Avlora. Your charge knows not how.
So we're
powerless
going against
you-
Cordelia.
Worry not, Your Majesty. I shall protect you.
Because I am to wed the Archduke?
Because you are a warrior. One who does not give up, even if she must fight her battles alone. I was an orphan. I never knew my parents.
Okay, so Avlora is
I entered the
becoming
army
more
to
on
make a
Cordelia's
choice for
side.
myself. So I know better than anyone the pain of having to do everything on your own.
Allow me to bare my heart to you as well, General of Laura. As the last heir to the throne of Glenbrook, I do not intend to let Gustudolf have his way.
You mean to strike down the Archduke?
But I lack the power to do so. Have you heard of the Royalists? The aristocrats who were aid to my father.
Royalists.
I have. I also heard they secretly indulged in bribes and the like for personal gain. That man Patriot was cozying up to the Archduke not seconds after King Regna's beheading. Their kind knows no loyalty.
Indeed. But Gustudolf has not given any of them a position in his court, so they have fallen on hard times. I want to ask Patriot and the other royalists for their help.
Are you mad? No doubt they would wholeheartedly embrace you as their symbol, but only for their own purposes.
I understand that. But their years in service to the crown have earned them great influence in politics. I must have their support if I'm to reclaim Glenbrook.
I mean, I get what she means, but I don't know how much she can trust on this.
Not alone. But with you, General of Laura, I can. They lack military might. If you accompany me, I could sway them to my cause. Please, General, lend me your strength.
As an Esfrosty general, I simply cannot turn a deaf ear to what you've told me. Did you not think I would tell the Archduke of your plans?
Of course I did. But I refuse to stand idly by as a mere decoration. So if it meant earning your trust,
Did it work?
to show you that I wish to protect Glenbrook by any means necessary.
You took a gamble.
But did she win?
I had to. For it is not status or reward that moves you.
Fair.
So you bet on my honor, and
Oops.
refusal would sully my name forever. However, safeguarding the kingdom comes first. Fighting at your side will have to wait.
General of Laura!
A word of advice, Your Majesty. Both Hyzante and the Archduke are veterans of war. The fight will not be an easy one, and may rage on for many years.
Even so, I will not falter. I must do this. For my father and brothers.
An admirable resolve. One which I will
Okay. Cordelia recruited Avlora to her side.
I shall be your sword and shield, my queen.
Thank you, General of Laura.
Oh, that's nice to see. And now we're to make a decision. Voting. The party decides how to use the new weapon. Gifted to them by Hyzante. Let's save, because I wonder what our options are gonna be. How to use this weapon. I forgot how is it pronounced.
I apologize, but are you suggesting we destroy the dam around Telior Reservoir to start a flood?
Ah, that's why they were looking.
The capital city was built on the banks of the Norzellia River. Breaking the dam surrounding Lake Telior upstream will allow us to submerge a majority of the city.
But a lot of townsfolk are gonna be.
Will throw their army into disarray, which should allow us to take the place by storm.
Lake Telior is a man-made reservoir. You might be able to burst through with a blast crystal.
Huet scouted the area earlier and reported seeing very few sentries. Proof enough that this is outside the Archduke's calculations.
Well, a lot of civilians are gonna
The damage
get
will be too
caught.
great. The means would not justify the end, Benedict.
We cannot afford to lose.
I agree with Roland. There is already far too much blood on our hands. Perhaps it's worth speaking with the people and gaining their understanding.
Unless we reclaim Glenbrook, it's unlikely they'll understand or support our actions. We must take the capital back and show our strength and resolve first.
So that means you stand by Benedict then?
Well, I agree what she said.
No matter the consequences.
Using it down for that is a bit much. And we're seeing who is on the side of the dam.
Reservoir is the kingdom's water source.
Benedict,
The dam was
Anna,
constructed
and
to
Eredor.
protect the people from floods. I doubt they would ever forgive us should we choose to destroy it for war.
Roland, Frederica, and Huet are on the other side.
Otherwise, it's inexcusable.
And
Brute strength isn't the only way to reclaim the
Gila
city.
is the neutral one.
Strike at night and defeat their commanding officers. There are ways to slip into the castle unseen.
If you have used it before, there is a chance it has been sealed off since.
There is more than one route. You needn't worry.
So you mean not to use the blast crystal?
No, I do. After we sneak in, we can sink Esfrost's warship.
Ooh,
We'll close
the
off
warship.
escape route.
Our first priority should be ensuring the people's safety.
I agree with that.
We cannot
We've been
allow
doing that all along.
It would
Protecting Roland, protecting Rosellan.
She's got a point. But how do we take the capital back after that?
We could use the blast crystal to destroy the bridge connecting the town and the castle. The enemies would be stuck within the walls.
That would certainly mitigate the damages to the citizens.
If we encircle the castle, we could negotiate with them.
We could ask them to yield, free Glenbrook, and re-establish the trade between our nations. I am certain we can find a way to make both parties agree.
I feel like
Negotiate.
the negotiation part's a bit
I
iffy.
understand your thoughts and the wishes held therein.
Allow me to ask once more. Shall we shatter the dam around Lake Telior and flood the town? Sneak in under the guise of night, sink their ships, and slay their commanding officers? Or destroy the bridge, safeguard the
options.
people, and negotiate with the enemy? Fetch the scales. It is time we decide
Okay.
our path.
So this time we have 3 options. Choo-choo. And that's why 7 is such a good number. Because we can still have a neutral one. We now have 3 paths before us, each with some merits and shortcomings. But which one will lead House Beaufort's victory? Destroy the bridge and trap the enemy in the castle, then negotiate. Destroy the dam and wash away the troops in the Crown City. Eredor is the one undecided, huh? Infiltrate the castle, launch a surprise attack, and destroy the duchy's warship. I'm in agreement with Rosellan. So, Eredor. Wait, can we go to the city? Yes. Well, interesting that this time we have a 3-sided vote. Lord Serenoa, we returned from scattering the capital. The Crown City is teeming with Aesfrost soldiers, and it appears the second force led by General of Lore is defending Whiteholm Castle. So Aesfrost has soldiers stationed throughout the city and around the castle, the latter led by General of Lore no less. I doubt the full front attack would work to our favor. This is definitely worth considering when making a strategy. Lord Serenoa, I shall accompany you wherever you go. I'm sure my knowledge of Afric will be great. I completely forgot how to pronounce that. I heard that Afric is still in development and only a few people are privy to this detail. According to the rumors, it's blow a hole through the castle wall. Could we really see such a thing in battle? Afric's still in development. Are they hope chooses battle to test its power? There's a chance we're exposing the people to greater danger than we thought. We must consider the policemen very careful. I did not even see what I got. I accidentally clicked way too fast. Lord Serenoa, you've been out and about quite often lately. Something amiss? Can't help but notice the comings and goings in Hyzante soldiers' troop. Something about it bodes ill. My lord, how's your father doing? Yeah, I believe he's still in bed. The people are worried. We haven't heard any tidings of his health for some time now, because there has been no changes. I regret to tell you that his condition remains unchanged. I only wish there were some magic elixirs to get him back. My father's name carries great weight, even now. There's no way we'd lose him, not when we need him most. I appreciate your concern, but you need to worry. My father is the strongest man I ever know. Doubtless he will be back on his feet in no time. I feel like to be honest with them, because but should I? Wouldn't that just make them worried? No, I think I'm gonna go with this one. Otherwise, they might be putting hope on something that might not happen. You know, I remember seeing Lord Simon the day you were born. He held you in his arms like you were the greatest treasure in all the realm, and announced that he had been blessed with a healthy baby boy. Father, Lord Serenoa, is there anything that can see your father back to health? Would it be known that you have done a splendid job in his deed. So please continue working hard. That man would no doubt wake to praise his son, and for a job well done. Thank you. Neither my father nor I could ask for better people. My uncle's a soldier, but he's always busy these days. I haven't been able to talk to him at all. Got some stuff here. Some money. Superior iron. Merchant? What do you got for us today? Extra large. He heals 200. A large range. There's large ice stones as well. Pixie rings and amulets. I'm looking at this extra large one and the large range HP. I don't have as much money as I thought I would. There we go. Nothing. A black anklet. Oh, Roland's wanted poster. What? Probably an old poster, but still. Gustav Asfras, Archduke of the Grand Duchy of Asfras, hereby order the arrest of Royal Highness Prince Roland of the Kingdom of Glenbrook. The prince is 20 years old. Gold of hair, blue eyes, he has his possession a ring bearing the insignia of the royal family. Whomsoever captured the prince and delivers him to duchy officials unharmed will be rewarded a sum of 100,000. Since the fall of Hall's Fox and Telior, many of their people have fled here to Wolfram. And refugee from the Crown City has also come to live within our domains. It's not uncommon to hear of fights breaking out between them and the people of Wolfram. What should we do, my lord? Our domains can only support so many people. Why not convince them to look for Hyzante for refuge? These people have nowhere else to go. We will accept them with open arms. We must prioritize the happiness of our people. To do so, we must regretfully ask the more problematic individuals to leave. Oh. Okay, this one. We direct them to Hyzante instead. We have just accept them all with all the problems they have. And this one, happiness of our people. This reminds me of the story with Eulio and Erador, where the noble lady that came from the capital were actually trying to take their supplies. So I'm gonna go with this one. As you come in, we shall handle the situation at once. Thank you, but please recall that these are our countrymen. They have fallen in hard times, and using force would avail us nothing. Please reassure them that the House of Wolford is doing all they can to strike down Asfras and bring peace to the land. Until then, I ask them be patient. Understood, my lord. Leave the issues of the refugee to us. When I want. We got a black anklet. Increases strength, magic defense, physical defense, and magical defense. But deals damage to you at the start of your turn. Not fond of this. Resist win. This just reminds me of that whole thing pushing them around. My niece came back from the Crown City. She said there are more Aspharos soldiers than ever now. After the Dutch have made their declaration, the Holy See stopped shipping salt. Merchants could no longer trade salt in the capital either. I came here hoping to bring my aunt to live with me in the capital. Aspharos' invasion took me by surprise, but life's been easier since. We can't enjoy freedom of trade and no longer have to give offerings to the crown. It seems the people living in the Crown City aren't suffering as much as I thought they'd be. Okay. Nothing there. The scouts we sent to the capital returned not a moment ago. Our preparations are continuing apace, but I worry about sharing the field with the Hyzante troops. Okay, nothing again. These soldiers look like they're preparing for something. There's another big battle on the horizon. Hyzante soldiers that were bringing relief supplies look like they're ready for war too. My reserves are still stocked, but I do not know how long that will last. The Dutch who strayed the embargo had me worried, to say the least. There we go. Took me a bit. I think I talked to everyone. Here though. Destroying the dam is our best shot to win this battle. The enemy wouldn't know what hit him with the flooded city. But there's no denying that the other plans have their merits too. Should we go for a best bet or consider one of the other option? Let the troops in the castle force negotiation. We should destroy the dam in Pearl City. Use the secret passage to infiltrate the castle in the soundest course of action. He's not too fond of this one. But let's try. So you go with Prince Roland's plan. Then what makes you so sure? Infiltrating the castle is proof of Roland's resolve as a member of the royal family. As his vessel wishes to stand beside him. The Dutchies worship a troublesome force to be reckoned with. He would have ways to destroy them as soon as opportunity. I suppose you're thinking ahead of our battle with Gustav, huh? It's true that those iron ships give them a special edge in warfare. So destroying them now would only prevent them from escaping the castle, but also put a dent in the Dutchies' military might. You're always one step ahead, lad. I'm proud of you.
Tough spot we're in.
You opened my eyes to the merit of Prince Roland's plan, my lord. It's given me lots to think about. I'm in. I feel like that put quite a lot of thought in his mind. Benedict.
My lord.
Negotiating will only grant the enemy reprieve. There is a high chance that Queen Cordelia has revealed the secret tunnels to the enemy. But we would most certainly deal heavy blow to Aspharos forces by flooding the city. He's very adamant about this, but So you would choose Prince Roland's plan. Might inquire us why? Even if Azeroth knows the tunnels, they won't be expecting anyone to use them. The tunnels are royal family seat. Highly doubt Queen Cordelia would have divulged them to anyone. I can see why he would think that. Azeroth needs their ships for both travel and transport. It would do as well to destroy them at the soonest opportunity. That sounds something that Benedict would hear. The Duchy's warships are troublesome indeed, and Azeroth is adept with ships and naval warfare. If my plan were to succeed, there is a chance that a great number of enemy soldiers escaping using this vessel. In which case, it would better serve us to take them by surprise.
I am decided.
I understand your argument, my lord. But to perfect a plan, one must consider it from all angles. Let us continue our discussion. Okay? The 3 high houses. The enemy by surprise may grant us a swift victory and reduce the burden on the people. The more time our plan takes, the more likely Queen Cordelia is to be taken hostage. If we sneak into the castle, however, we may be able to help her escape. We're not trying to escape, we're trying to reconquer it. Allowing harm to befall the crown city and the castle would sully the House Wolford honor as one high house. We should avoid flooding the city if we can avoid it. Our honor? Escape with the queen. And the burden of people. I'm between these two. I feel like not this one because it's directly contradictory with his opinion. But at the same time, if he agreed with me, that would really help change his opinion. You know what? We're going with this. We're risking. My lord, the king has already fallen. Yeah. I should not have gone with that. I should have gone with the first one. Failed to protect the crown, and there's little we can do to defend that honor now. But this battle may be our chance to reclaim. Yep.
I may have to consult
Thank you, my lord.
others.
You have made your stance abundantly clear. Yeah. I should have not gone that.
Yes, sir.
The enemy may be aware of the tunnels, but no one's anticipating a flood. Captain Raptor is swarming with Azeroth soldiers. We must prepare ourselves to make sacrifice if we are to reclaim the city. Okay, it seems like it's gonna be tough getting them to agree with this. So you share Prince Roland's side, even though Azeroth may know about the tunnels. Only the royal family knows. The flood would destroy the crown city, whereas stealing into the castle would spare the people harm. And I can think of no one better at covert operations than you. The enemy scattered throughout the city and castle. Inside Whiteholm, a small elite force would have advantage over numbers. I feel like this will do well with Anna.
Indeed.
I see. You're in know where the enemy is situated, my lord. It is as you say. Numbers would mean not in castle narrow passageways. We could certainly use that to our advantage. Even if we were to meet General Flora's forces, we would be able to fight her on equal footing. Though the plan is hardly foolproof, I suppose it's still worth considering. Okay, her I have a better chance. Now, Gila and Frederica.
Ah, yes?
Benedict's plan gives us the surest path to victory, but would incur great damage to the capital, and Prince Roland's plan is far too dangerous a gamble. Call me naive, but I believe Frederica's plan to be the best of all of us. Really, the negotiation plan. I see. I admit I'm curious to why you would choose the Prince Roland's plan. If sneak into the castle, maybe to catch the enemy unaware. His plan would allow us to reclaim the crown city unharmed. We could show the people we meant well. Azeroth neither ships for both We can show the people we mean well.
Possibly.
Indeed, the other plans will turn the Crown City into a battlefield, but Prince Roland keeps the fighting contained to the castle. If we could best Astaroth while damaging the Crown City, we could gain the people's praise and support. But if we failed, we will lose our life as mere cowards who stole into the
I
castle.
require some time to think.
There's much to consider.
Serenoa.
A nation cannot exist without people. We cannot risk exposing those very people to any more hardship than they already have endured. If we explode the bridge, we can isolate the castle. The people will be spared from our battle. Use the secret passage. Serenoa, do you truly think Roland's plan is the best way forward? This plan's simple and relies solely on House Wolford to reclaim the city. We have successfully infiltrated the castle using the tunnels before. And that's why there's difficulty there. Jenna, if Laura goes to the castle, there's a chance your plan could result in a prolonged battle. Calling the plan simple might not be a good thing here. In a prolonged battle, what's the problem with that, since the bridge would be cut off? I'm gonna try to praise Roland's plan instead of downplaying hers.
I see.
I see. If we succeed, we'll have done so without matters escalating to a much larger battle. But if we fail, we'll risk losing absolutely.
I need a moment to think.
Kind of like with Gila. Well, let's give it a try.
It is time to cast our votes. In which strategy do we entrust the future of Glenbrook? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
Benedict's still staying with us.
I cannot be swayed.
Even still.
Yeah, she was not swayed. Gila?
I'm afraid I disagree.
Ugh. It's gonna be a close one.
I cannot agree to this.
Wow. I'm failing negotiations hard. Erador? At least you?
Forgive me, lad.
Wow. I actually lost this voting, huh?
The scales of conviction will illuminate.
So what path they chose without my consent? Which one is that? Destroy the dump? Nope. We're not doing that one. I should have saved before the voting, like before not negotiated, but trying to convince them after I explored the city. Then again, maybe some of my choices in the convictions, all talking to the people, might help influence their decisions here. So, who'd have guessed? I actually be retrying a voting session, huh? I've been doing so well with them so far, like... Mm-hmm. Which town? Range HP, that's what it was. Talking to the kid affected my convictions. Let's save here before we make our choices. Yeah, I feel like this is very closer to Federico's option, so I'm still sticking with this. As for this one I may change. Even though I like the result. Let's try this one. I look forward to that day already. I have the utmost faith in Lord Simon. But I forget myself. You must be so busy, Lord Serenoa. My apologies for detaining you. Please, don't apologize. I'm very happy to know why the people care about my father so. Lord Simon is a true hero to all of us, not because he brought the salt iron to his end. We respect him because he has a heart of gold and walks astride of his people. Thank you. Neither my father nor I could ask for a better people. Okay. Now let's go. And probably change some of our arguments.
Aye, lad.
I feel like this still was good.
Yes, sir.
This was good. I say that as if they actually changed their opinion. The voting. this one. It's good. But over here, I'm not going with the 3 high houses. Take the enemy by surprise. I see, you have taken everything into consideration, even how this plan may affect governance hereafter. As a tactician, my thoughts are focused solely on winning the battle. But as a leader, you must think of much more. I see where you stand, Lord Serenoa. I'm sure your father would agree. You are a worthy lord to your house.
I may have to consult
Thank you, my
the
lord.
others.
You have made your stance abundantly clear. Maybe that helped. Let's try. No. I'm trying to remember which one, which one I went and what she thought about it. Let's go with this one.
I don't know.
Cannot deny that possibility. Doing so would be a boon to both Prince Rosellan and the kingdom itself. But if we're stalled in the castle discovered by the enemy, they may take Her Majesty as hostage
I
instead.
require some time to think.
There's much to consider with Prince Roland's plan that I originally thought. Much more. Yeah, indifferent. That was not it. Okay, let's go with this one because I was in doubt between the two. Indeed, General Flora is unlikely to give up so easily, even if we had the castle surrounded. And a soldier as experienced as she is likely has few tricks up her sleeve. I doubt negotiations with her will go smoothly. If the battle draws on, the people will suffer. May very well fail us to end this fight as swiftly as possible.
I need a moment to...
Thank you, Serenoa. I'm happy to know where it is you stand. Maybe that helped. Let's see if I made any difference.
It is time to cast our... In which strategy do we entrust the future of... Approach the scales of...
Uh-huh. Benedict?
On this, I cannot be
Nope,
swayed.
he is very adamant. Sometimes we might not be able to change that.
Even still.
Yeah. We know Jill is not swayed. Erder and Anna are all that's left.
I agree.
Oh! We swayed Anna. That might be what we needed. Erder?
I'm with you.
Okay, we swayed Erder and Anna. There we go. Not much, but we got enough.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
We got 4. There we go. It's not the them. That one, I feel like is the worst
The
option.
way forward is decided. We infiltrate the castle via the hidden passage and take
The enemy by surprise. For a second there, I was thinking like my convictions were hard set on a path.
You will steal into the castle and defeat their commanding officers.
Also, taking out the warship seems like a good
Wolford
idea.
chooses to walk a wicked path. That makes you no different than Frost.
We do not regret the choice we have made.
Then it is time to see it done. It may very well be our best chance at victory. I must return to Hyzante and see Minister Camsell. Next we meet, you will have both of our armies
And
at your backs.
he's talking about no different from
Have my
Asfrost.
thanks.
Did you not see their army come through the city?
For Norzelia.
I thought this battle was for Glenbrook.
This is not a simple struggle for power, Mr. Serenoa.
The goddess, the source, iron? The war of 30 years ago comes back to haunt us because the old cling to relics of the past. Rosellan needs to be born anew. Right now, the people of every nation are searching for a young standard-bearer to guide them.
A standard-bearer?
Yes, people like you and me. This war is a fine opportunity for us to show our worth to Norzelia.
Time has come.
House Wolfort and Hyzante join forces and begin planning Glenbrook's recapture. But with the Norzelia River and the Esfrosti armies in their way, retaking the capital will be no easy feat. Roland proposes they infiltrate Whiteholm Castle and take out the enemy commanders. Though a risky gambit, it is well worth it if they can destroy them all in one fell swoop. Serenoa and the others agree to the plan.
I wonder if it will end up being a mission or as time limited. Turn limited, rather.
Of House Wolfort, Hyzante's great army marches forth for the first time since the Salt Iron War.
Time to say goodbye.
Prince Roland, there is something I'd like to ask you before our mission.
Then ask it.
Why do you really want to infiltrate Whiteholm Castle?
To prevent needless harm to the capital, of course. And to exact revenge with my own hands.
Is that it? Roland, you know you can confide in me.
So, speak to me.
I want to save Cordelia. She's bound to get caught up in the violence if we launch a full-scale attack. But if we can sneak into the castle, we might be able to get her out.
I see.
I know this is a war to reclaim our kingdom, but I cannot rid myself of such selfish desires.
He's the only family member left. I can understand that.
Is it not?
I understand the burden of leadership. Perhaps it would be easier if we could but purge ourselves of our hearts. But as your vassal, nay, as your friend,
there we go.
I would not want the company of one so void of emotion. We will save Queen Cordelia. Together.
Yes, together.
My friend, I cannot thank you enough.
Character story. Oh, and who are you? Single man puts an end to the chaos caused by Astra, Sylvio, and Glenbrook. A new unit at this point?
Ah, my shop! Someone stop this madness!
I wonder what's his ability, like what his features.
This land is ours now, and we'll do as we please.
You monsters!
Ha! Try me! I'll cut you down where you stand!
Try me. Oh!
And just what do you think you're doing?
He's a hawk-riding shield bearer?
Be gone from this place.
That's an interesting combination.
You've chosen death then!
Hold!
Unless my eyes deceive me, is that not Sir Flanagan?
And what if I am?
'Tis him! The bloody shield in the flesh! The Black Iron Captain! Damn it all! Run for your life, you fool!
How far they have fallen. They confuse might for morality, and sully the duchy's good name.
Hail, soldier! I cannot thank you enough for coming to my aid.
'Tis instinct. I cannot abide such cruelty. Though I no longer call myself a soldier, it is the only station my skills afford me.
Okay, Soldier 76.
My lord, a man calling himself Flanagan requests an audience. Will you grant it?
Flanagan? The name sounds familiar somehow.
Ah, he fought in the tourney, didn't he? The one they call the Bloody Shield.
Oh, really?
His frosty soldier. What brings him to me? Anyhow, send him in.
My lord.
Yeah. A shield bearer on a hawk.
Been a few moons, Bloody Shield.
And many more since I answered to that name.
Then what brings Ines Frosty to us this day?
Words cannot bring back your countrymen, but I give them to you anyway. I condemn the duchy's actions with every fiber of my being. Deeply ashamed am I of our Archduke's willingness to shed the blood of innocents. Meager though they may be, you have my sympathies.
So, you came all this way just to apologize? You're a strange one, all right.
I am well aware that words alone mean little. And that is why I offer my service.
Okay.
My words might ring true.
Why House Wolfort? There are far greater armies that would give anything to have a warrior like you in their ranks.
I have no interest in further bolstering the might of Frost or Hyzante. They trample the weak with no remorse. I will stand for it no longer.
And you think you can stand here and call us weak? You little...
Now calm down, Arendar.
You intrigue me, Sir Flanagan. But what of your title? Is your shield truly stained with blood?
It is a name given to me by men, nothing more.
You can trust he'll hold his own in battle if you take him in. One look is enough to tell you that.
A boon to our cause, then. Provided we ourselves do not become the very thing you despise. House Wolfort welcomes you, Sir Flanagan.
I don't see us becoming that, but
The feeling of intrigue is mutual. I am
you never know the future, I guess.
You're two peas in a pod, aren't you?
Flanagan. Now, let's see what his characteristics are. A rugged and mighty warrior soars above the battlefield. Draws enemy attacks. Stands strong against head-on attack. A tank. Let me look at him. Level 18. Flanagan. Hawk shield. Has a rook shield. Hawksbane. Increased damage inflicted to you by arrows. Ironclad. Decreased damage taken head on. Shield bash. So in his case, side attacks do more damage than head on. Shield bash. Deals physical damage to a single enemy and have a chance to infuriate them. Huh. Interesting that this one... Aerial assault. Ride your hawk to a selected square. The hawk will do physical damage to all enemies within range. Shielding stance and fortify. Oh, weapon skill. That's what I unlocked with Serenoa. It costs 4. I'm never gonna use it, because I'll be using these shoe. Yeah. And investigate the warships at the dock. The one we're gonna get rid of.
There's but a single longship docked? It would take one blast crystal to destroy, and their escape route with it.
Heard Hyzante send in a massive army. Are we gonna be alright without the Archduke?
I wouldn't worry. Not with General Avlora on our side.
Her I trust. Thalas and Erica, on the other hand, huh.
Not so loud.
Now I wonder,
Who knows what they
would General Floor join us if we reach Cordelia and show that Roland's still alive?
So Gustadov isn't here, but Avlora, Thalas, and Erica are.
Good job, my assassin. So, I feel like Bast should leave the start of the plan for next time. And with that being said, let's save. Inventory. Oh yeah, their equipments we didn't re-equip. Coletta, here's her wind amulet. And what else do we have? Just a black anklet? Okay. But yeah. Next stream, which should be Friday, we'll pick this up and we'll go to war. So, with that being said, have a good night.